everyone up there, pupils and teachers. I want to call you my friends for this afternoon. I want to call you my friends because from today onwards, I encourage the learners to be friends to the teachers, and I also want you to be my friends from today onwards, because we shall keep on being in touch, and when you are friendly to me, then you learn more. So here I'm Teacher Emmanuel, going to take you on with science, and we're going to start with review of our PLE paper. Review of our PLE paper. This is very important. The last candidates who did PLE went to S1, and now you who are in this year, you are just supposed to revise this paper. The ones who went to S1 cannot again revise the PLE paper. It is us who are now in P7 who are going to review this paper and see what happened during the paper. Just to give you a schedule of our programs for these sessions, online sessions. In science, we're going to begin with review of the PLE paper. Then we shall do also calculations in science. We shall also do diagrams in science, diagram work, especially diagram work. What are the challenges facing learners in diagram work? Then we're also going to look at calculations, common calculations in science. So today we're going to begin with a review of the PLE paper. A review of our PLE paper. Don't mind of this that I'm putting in the screen, but just before we begin the review of the paper, I would like to ask you to answer for me this question. This question is a preparation question to prepare you. Give me correct answers in the next session. So let me begin first with asking you, here what you see on the screen there, I want to ask you, which topics have you learned so far in P7? The candidates. By show of hands, can you show me the topics? Can you tell me the topics you have learned so far in P7? Just put up your hand and tell me. Right. Alright, thank you. Thank you for that. So far you can see, some of us have learned 3 topics, 5 topics, 6 topics, 7 topics so far in P7. Because we find that in every term in P7, just like in other classes, we have 4 topics every term. So if you have 4 topics every term, which means first term you have 4, second term you have 3, third term you have another 4. Sorry, 4 plus 4 plus 4, that's 12. So it means we need to know at what level we are right now. This is now second term. In P7, it is very important for us to complete the syllabus early so that we begin the revision, PLE revision. Number 2 question, I want you to give me the answers. Is here on your screen. Give me some reasons why you are not passing science very well. Yeah. Most of us have been having challenges in science up to date, and you really wondering why are we still not getting good marks? Why are we not passing science very well? So can you give me some of the reasons? I'll list down for me some few reasons here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 enough can do for now. I want just 5 reasons, and we look at these reasons. One of the reasons why we are not doing science very well up to now, why we are not passing science very well right now, is responses. The responses that we give to the answers, to the questions. The responses that we give to the questions. Science, we don't answer questions in science like in SST, like in English, where we make a sentence. For example, if you're asked that, give one cause of dehydration. Give one cause of dehydration. Give one cause of dehydration. So here, assuming this is our number one. In science, we do not write a full sentence when answering this question. We simply give the cause of dehydration. For example, severe vomiting. Severe vomiting. That's one of them. And there are many, but when you're asked to give one, then you have to give one. The other causes are severe diarrhea, and then we have severe burns and scars. Severe burns and scars. Now, there's this other answer of severe sweating. This answer, severe sweating. We are not accepting this answer for now. Why? Severe sweating can be caused by somebody doing a vigorous activity. Somebody will sweat severely, but does not mean that somebody will get dehydrated. So, this one we shall cancel it. But the point here is, good, thank you. So, I was saying our responses. So, the first point here is how we respond to questions. Responses to questions. So the other point, the other reason why we are still not doing very well in science, the second point is how we handle diagram work. Diagram work is still a problem. Number three is calculations. We still have a problem with calculations in science. These calculations, when you look at the science from P1 up to P7, most calculations begin from P5 to P7. Yes. And then the other challenge that is still causing us not to do very well in science is our coverage of work. That's why I asked you so far, how many topics have you covered so far in P7? Good. Let's go to the next question. Just moving very fast. A bit quicker. What are your fears? If you are looking at the screen, the next question here is, what are your fears? Or in which areas do you think you may not do very well? What are your fears in science? Or in which areas you think you may not do very well? Yes, I'll pose that question to you. And I want to see God's response. Let me see your hands up. Okay, thank you. Okay. So some of you are worried of very many things. some people are worried about the marking in PLE. Yes, PLE marks very simple and precise answer. So let us say the marking. You can say A, say marking. The other one is, someone one time told me also that what the children answer is different from what you named once. What the children give is different from what you named once. And this is actually the reason why we are here. That's why we're giving the recap of the PLE paper. You find that after every PLE paper, you name produces. Reports. So we should always endeavor to read the reports of feedback, read the reports from you made. So this one always shows us where most learners do not do very well. It always shows us where learners do not do very well. But we find some schools finish the whole first term, second term, and they have never seen this report from UNED. This unit gives us feedback on how the previous PLE paper was done. Another fear sample said is that UNED is only setting application questions. Yes, application questions only. No, we need to know what are application questions, what are knowledge questions, what are comprehension questions. And in this review, I'm going to show you. Actually, we're going to send you this document, and I may not finish all the questions, but from the document we're going to send you, you're going to see that we have labeled the questions according to their levels. Those ones, application, we have put there a letter A for application questions, and K for knowledge questions, and C for comprehension questions. Now, these questions here of application are now called questions of which need us to apply what we have learned. Then the knowledge questions are questions which require us to recall. Merely recall the facts, or the idea. Simply recall. And these other comprehension questions are called questions of understanding. They test on understanding. Do you understand the concept of dehydration? Do you understand the concept of, the concept of pulleys? Do you understand the concept of reflection of light? You see? Understanding. Here in application, can you apply the concept of light in your life situations? For example, if an image is reflected in a mirror, okay, assuming this is your mirror, okay, so do you understand reflection properly? The distance of the image and the distance of the object from the mirror. Do you understand it? This is very important. And if you know that this is an image, it means it does not appear fully. So you have to go with the dotted what? Always represent images with dotted lines. This is the ability to understand and apply what we have learned. Okay? A plain mirror. This is a plain mirror, not a curved mirror. Plain mirror. Reflection in a plain mirror. Just examples. Alright. So the other challenge, the other issue that most people complain about is ABCD. Let me see here. D. D is that some people just have fear for PLE. They think the questions which are coming are very new and they're using a complicated language. No. Language. The language used. Language in PLE. Language in PLE. Now, I want to encourage you members there that the language used in PLE is always very simple. Very simple. We always use simple language. Simple language to the level of every learner. To the level of every learner. There are some learners who are in P7, but they are reading books of S4. And so some of you are getting answers even from Google Net. Please, can you ensure that you get simpler answers and use simple language. Use simple language. Avoid using complicated language. So these are some of the areas I've identified and I've told you what we should do. The next question here is list down some topics you know in science. For example, in P7, P6, P5, and P4. P7, P6, P5, and P4. Why should you know these topics? Why should you know these topics? Because when we are setting papers, for example, now you're going to start doing mocks. We set questions right from P2 up to P7. Now, when you see a P2 question in P7, you are going to say that the teacher did not teach you. You're going to say that the teacher did not teach you. Yet the teachers taught you in P2, P1, P3, P4, P5, and P6, and then P7. Please, it's very important for you to revise. When the teacher tells you to revise, the teachers then P7 may not finish everything. Even if you read the papers they give you. But those questions in those papers are set right from P1 up to P7. So, are you aware of some of the topics there? P1 to P7. This one, I want to leave it to you, and the teachers there will help you recall some of these topics, and I will ask the teachers to take a record of this, and they will give us feedback next time. The next one here is, now we want to go to our paper, the PLE review. The PLE review. The PLE paper. So we're going to look at the PLE paper here very fast, and you're going to see. Did I? Just a minute. Good. All right, thank you. I'm here with my colleagues, so if you see, don't worry. We are working together to ensure that we present to you everything very well and clear. Right, so let's go enter into our main session for this hour. This was PLE 2023. PLE 2023. Review. Let me write this in lowercase or in small letters. PLE review. The first question. I may not finish up the whole paper here, but let me begin with the first question. It is very important that learners always pass the first question. Learners, I'm encouraging you this, and even teachers, ensure that all of your children are able to pass the first number one. Number one. Look at number one. Number one says, I want you to read the question, just give me the answer. I'm not going to waste time reading because it will take a lot of time. But number one was asking us the type of teeth which develops last in human beings. The type of teeth that develops last in human beings. Now, this question needs you to really understand. This is a comprehension question. It looks to be a knowledge question, but we have two ideas here being compared. There's what we call types of teeth. There's what we call types of teeth. And then we have what we call sets of teeth. Now, it's very bad for you to hurry to answer this question. When you hurry, you're going to misfire. We're asking for the type of teeth which develop last in human beings. So the type of teeth, we have the correct answer there was supposed to be the molar teeth or the molars. You can say molar or molars. That was our correct response. Molars or molar teeth. Molars or molar teeth. That was the response that we needed. So most learners gave responses such as milk set, milk teeth. Some say permanent teeth. Some say permanent teeth. You see? So this is what we are talking about. Read the question carefully and understand. Now, the other number which was seriously misfired. I'm not going to look at all questions. I want to look at number 5. Number 5. Yeah, I think the number 4. Let's first give you the number 4. Number 4 was saying, state the purpose of pressing the belly of a casualty of near drowning. State the purpose of pressing the belly of a casualty of near drowning. You see, some people are saying to push out air and to give the casualty air. You see, the responses. Number 4. So, we needed to answer this question very well. So there were 3 responses we could accept. One is to remove water from the lungs. You know, when a person, a victim gets near drowning, the person's lungs or air passages, the lungs are one of the air passages or air organs are filled up with water. So, the main purpose of pressing the belly is to remove water from the lungs. 2, we could say to expel water from the lungs. Expel is another word, meaning to remove. Secondly, you could also say to draw out water from the lungs. To draw out water from the lungs, or to force water out of the lungs. So you can see here, we encourage so much the use of simple language. We encourage so much the use of simple language. Number 5 was asking for the reason why fish are able to live in water. The reason why fish are able to live in water. Now, this was testing that was what we call the main characteristic or the main feature that enables a fish to live in water, and without it, the fish cannot live in water. So we find our correspondence response there was fish have gills for breathing in water. Or you would have said fish breathe in dissolved oxygen in water. You see, when the fish is brought out of water, outside the water there is no dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen. Dissolved means it is mixed with the water. Water, there's oxygen in the water. So this is the kind of oxygen that or air that a fish can breathe in. I want us to go through number 6 also very fast. Number 6. First of all, who can tell me that structure? What's the name of that structure? They did not name the structure, but they are asking and they are saying the diagram below shows a structure in a cattle farm. Study and use it to answer questions 6 and 7. Now, as I told you that one of the reasons why we are still not doing very well in PLE is the problem of diagram work. Diagram questions are one of the questions that have been failed most. Not only, by the way, in science, but also even in other subjects, even SST. But here, now, they have drawn you a structure there. You have, I hope you are seeing it in the screen. Diagram work. There's diagram work. We have key things that you should take into consideration when you are handling diagram work. Number one, read the heading. Read the heading or the instruction of the diagram very well. And the instruction here on the heading is that first statement. That first statement which is put where? On top of the diagram. That statement, if you don't read it, if you just see the diagram and you do not read that statement, you are going to misfire. So it's very important to read the heading or the statement in the diagram. 2, study the diagram. There's a word study. Study the diagram. Most of us look at it, just look at the diagrams. So I was telling you, number 6 is diagram work. And diagram work is one of the most failed questions in all papers, in most papers. Diagram work has been a challenge in science. And I'm telling you that it's not only in science, but also in SST and also other subjects. Now, look at this question, number 6. So I told you that the first thing is to do is to first read the heading or the instruction or the statement that has been put on top of the diagram. Then number 2, study the diagram carefully. Take some time, study some seconds to study the diagram. Study means looking at it maybe possibly some letters, some parts which have been labeled. Look at it, compare the diagram. It might be even the diagram may not be a complete diagram. It might be just a section or a certain part of the diagram. So it's very important that you observe and study the diagram carefully and very well. Take some time. Don't just look at the diagram because you have been seeing it or because you saw it just yesterday. When you were revising your teacher and you saw it, and now it has come in the paper, and so you hurry answering it thinking it is the same diagram. There could be something changed. Now, members, I would like to waste a lot of time. I'm not going to go through the whole paper. But what is important for you is like from number 1 to number 6. I'll just look at those 6 questions. Look at those questions. From which classes are these questions coming from? Is it from P7, P6, P5, P4, or P3? Number 2, look at the level of the question. Is it a knowledge question? Is it a comprehension question? Is it an application question? Okay? You see? Then the other thing is, this one is for the teachers, is we have what we call themes for the teachers. The theme, but even you learners, when you read this, when you open the textbooks, there is that part on the textbook at the beginning of every topic. There's a part called theme. From which theme is this are the questions coming from? We have majorly 8 themes in science. And the teachers will know the themes. But for example, just for example, I would like to point out some of these themes. We have themes in science. Because you may not know what I mean by themes, I just want to give you an example of themes. For example, the world of living things. The world of living things. That's a theme. Number 2, our environment or the environment. Our environment. Yeah? Our environment. Number 3, you have called human health. Human health. Number 4, we have human body. Human body. We have called science in human activities and occupations. I always call it S, science in human activities and occupations. SHAO. Then we have called matter and energy. Matter, matter and energy. There are 8. Then we have called changes in environment or changes in weather. But then we call it changes in the environment. Changes in the environment is another thing. Okay. So I've listed a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last one is mostly this topic is taught in the theme, but its topics are mainly taught in P7. It's called population, health, and demography. Population, health, and demography. So these are the 8 things. The 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've given you all of them. But now, from each of these things, there are topics which come from these things. This is very important for you to note. There are some things which are very big, and that's where most of the questions are coming from. Most questions are coming from things like human health, just to help you, human body, and then you have science in human activities and occupations. This one take a lot of the largest part of the paper. This one takes the largest part of the paper. So members, as you are revising these topics, mind of from which theme is the topic coming from. Look at the big topics, the big themes. Those have more topics. There are the ones here. And this is what we want you to look at. When we are setting PLE, we look at those themes which have more topics. And that's where most of our questions come from. This is where most of our questions come from. You may find only one question from population, health, and demography. You may find maybe 2 questions from matter and energy. So, look at those things which take more topics. That's where most of our questions are coming from. So that's why I'm asking you, do you know of any topics in P5? Do you know of any topics in P4, P6, P7? But also, so if you know these topics, then which themes are they covering? And they will help us in your revision. So, we're going to send you this work. We're going to send you all the responses to those questions. But I just want you to take some points to note as we are going through those questions. The other thing I want to remind you about is spellings. One of the reasons why people are still not doing well in science is because of the spellings. So we shall add on spellings as one of our concerns why people are not doing science very well. Don't think that we are marking spellings only. Spellings are only marked in English, okay? But even in science, spellings are very serious. And the way we write some words. Now look at this word dissolved. Most learners write the word dissolved with single S. If you miss this, you see that? So the correct one is supposed to be dissolved. Dissolved is CSS. So the other consonant is spellings, but we are going to do this, highlight this more in the next session, where we shall be doing the correct responses and wrong responses. So for now, class and everyone there, I would like to end it there. And if you have any concerns, please send them through your respective class teachers, and the teachers will send them to our team, and we shall receive them and we shall give you feedback. For now, thank you very much for listening, and thank you everyone for your time that you spent. Meet you next time. Bye.